let's see. I don't feel like doing all that right now. But I wanted to go live, and so going live, instead of going live on YouTube, I mean, instead of going live on Instagram or TikTok, where I'm not gonna get paid. Okay, let's see if we could do something over here, girl. Let's see. Let's see if I can get the people to come on in. Now, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Now, come. Y'all, this is not a formal video. I have not watched. Well, I watched it, but not this one, B. We'll put that down, but not that one. In that other room, in the dining room that we don't use as a dining room. Hold up. Ugh, that light break. Okay. All right. Okay. Girl, we went bowling. It's hot as hell outside. I don't know if y'all know that. Like, it's like monkey pussy hot outside. Thank you. So we're gonna have a quick little chat because I was about, thank you. I was about to go live on Instagram or TikTok and decided, why would I do that? Girl, what the fuck? Why would you do that? When you can go live on YouTube and actually make money off of it, I think. I don't know if my let me make sure my shit on. Okay. But yeah, y'all. So there's a conversation. Hey, there's a conversation going on Threads and on Instagram right now about Tuskegee. And I think it's very interesting how people engage in conversations, and when somebody doesn't bend to their whim, they start to insult you. I don't know what that's about. Hey, LASHAE's place. Child, let me see. Yeah, no, let's put those on. Let's put those on. We'll put them on we'll put them on automatic and we'll put them on low. Okay? We'll put them on low so there won't be 50, 11 of them, okay? We don't need 50, 11 of them, okay? All right. Hey, I knew you was cute, but up close you're so beautiful. It's mesmerizing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, the conversation about Tuskegee. So, Tuskegee decided that they wanted to, decided that they wanted to do a dress code that basically says that the kids can't go to class in pajamas, bonnets, or do-rags. Now, while I understand that y'all don't want them to come there with pajamas on, which fine, I understand. But the bonnets and the do-rags doesn't make sense to me, because I can remember boys walking around on campus with a do-rag on and a sweatshirt and some sweatpants or some jeans. And I've seen girls walking around campus and, you know, everybody got on some slides or something like that, or tennis shoes, whatever. But most college campuses are casual and you can wear comfortable clothes to them. It's not supposed to be like formal. Like, it's not like college educations are not supposed to be like these formal settings every single class, because that's not really realistic to what's happening during that time. And that's the reason why I feel like people just often have conversations about children and young adults as if they don't remember being them. And it's very, very annoying to me. So I just, you know, I don't know why people feel the need to talk to me like I'm stupid or like I'm being insane or I'm being crazy by engaging in this conversation in the way that I am, because I'm not saying anything crazy. So I don't understand why this is so hard for somebody to understand. But what I think really happens is people try to engage in certain conversations with me, and by no intention of my own, I make them feel stupid. And when I make them feel stupid, I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm just giving you my argument. When I make you feel stupid, you then decide you're gonna talk to me like I'm stupid because you feel stupid based on what I just said. Okay. And it's so funny because it's like I'm always peeping y'all. I'm always peeping those of y'all that watch me and are waiting around to have arguments with me on other social media platforms, because you always repeat the things that I've said that let me know you must have been one of them hit dogs hollering when I said what I said last time. You know what I mean? So the bonding conversation, as I've had years to think about this, right? As I've whirled it around in my mind over the years, I have come to the final standpoint that the way we feel about bonnets, and specifically bonnets, because you really don't feel this way about do-rags. That's another part of this that I think is interesting, is that when we start arguing about this, when we start debating about this, y'all never say that the do-rags are inappropriate. You only talk about the bonnets, which goes back to only wanting to make life extremely difficult for black girls. You is y'all, when I tell y'all there's nothing that annoys me more is other black people wanting to make life harder for other black people. It disgusts me. It really does. Okay. So what I need for people to understand, because a lot, people are not understanding why respectability politics and all this is bullshit. Okay. So you don't want to see this one? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, white people. White people. Yeah. I thought I did. You're right.
If you bothered, I'm bothered.
It's okay. We could do something else. Like, we was on Buffy. So
you know what? They might actually win in the end.
I feel like they would end up beating ass.
Let's see if they win.
Let's see how bad it gets. We can just fast forward. We like to fast forward through stuff now. Okay. All right. So this is what I said. I really hate when black people don't realize they are perpetuating white supremacy through respectability politics. Over policing of black bodies and acting as if a head covering is more offensive based on who overwhelmingly wears it is white supremacy. And when I say that, I mean I cannot think of any other head covering that any other ethnicity of people wear that y'all would ban on a college campus, with the exception of them goddamn MAGA hats. And really, that any type of offensive messaging on clothing would be inappropriate on a college campus, period. Right? So that would not specifically, be an issue for the black people. Okay? But this is specifically an issue for black people because you don't ban any other type of head covering. Y'all don't care about any other type of hair covering. You don't care about burqas. You don't care about them things, them slouchy things, the things the white boys wear when they want to cover their hair. White boys can wear hats. They can wear anything that they will cover their hair with. And everybody keeps talking about it's for sleepwear, but it's actually not just for sleepwear, and you know that. You know it's not just for sleepwear. If somebody has a hairstyle and they don't want their hairstyle to get messed up, they would put a bonnet over their hair to protect the hairstyle. It's not just for sleeping. And I'm also not exactly sure why y'all are acting like things that we wear in the house are extremely inappropriate for a college campus, when college within itself is very, very like casual. I don't know what colleges y'all went to, but the colleges we went to were always like the kids are casual. You're tired. You're working. You have a caseload, a class load that's ridiculous. Like you're doing a sport. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a whole bunch of shit going on. The last thing you want to have to be trying to worry about all the fucking time is your hair. And the only people that this greatly affects is black girls, because white girls don't have to worry about their hair like that, because their very high porosity hair doesn't have them having to, cover it up at night. We all know that our hair is different, and that's the reason why we do different things with our hair, because our hair is different. Our hair is the only hair that's been greatly policed. That's the main reason why this is white supremacy, because you can't think of any other head covering that they would ban from a college campus. And to me, I would expect this type of shit from a PWI, but when black people do it to other black people, it's like, so we're totally ignoring the comfortability and the acceptance that HBCUs are supposed to be giving to black students. HBCUs are supposed to have empathy for the black students and understand that sometimes they just need to put the bonnet and the sweatpants and the sweatshirt on, brush their teeth, wash their face, and go to class. They don't need to have to stand in the mirror for 10 to 15 extra minutes trying to slick fucking edges and all of that. And that is what they will feel like they have to do, because that is how they would feel most presentable if their hair was out a lot of the times. The conversation is just stupid, because at the end of the day, this is not bothering anybody. This is not harming anybody in the classroom. This is only an issue because you've developed a mindset, a stigma onto a piece of cloth that is meant to protect somebody's hair. And it doesn't just protect your hair from when you're laying down on a pillow. It protects your hair from getting caught up in your jewelry. It might protect your hair from being all caught up in your clothing. Or, child, sometimes when you have them weaves on, one of the reasons why you would want to wear like a bonnet is because, say I have a weave or something in, or something braid, something with loose long hair that can get caught in something. A bonnet would keep my hair from getting caught in shit. I don't know about y'all, but it's aggravating. Say you got a sweatshirt on. The process of having to take off the sweatshirt without yanking on your hair and all of that. Like, and some of these kids are playing sports. That's another thing. So my hair will be covered because I have my hair covered all day, because not only am I going to class, but I also play sports. I just feel like this is policing of black bodies. And just because some of you cannot metabolize that, because you can't think that far, you can't think that wide, why do you have to talk to me like I'm dumb? So let me continue with this conversation, because I also find it hilarious that they don't work this hard to protect the girls from being assaulted on campus. Y'all don't do nearly as much work to make sure that the boys on campus don't feel like they can just be, you know what I mean? Anyway, let me finish reading. So that was mine. This is the person. Is respectability politics all that bad though? Also, I don't understand. What does white people got to do with carrying yourself dressing with respect? As if putting a bonnet on your head and going outside means you don't respect yourself. You don't think that's a leap and a jump and a hop and a skip? I said, because in my mind, if you're banning it, say a kid is rushing, they get to class, they have it on their head. Are you going to tell them they can't come into class? Are you going to reprimand them and cause issue with their academic career because they had a bonnet or a do-rag on their head? Withholding black kids' education because of head coverings is a problem. The reason you think it's so inappropriate is because white people decide what's professional. I thought we all understood that. If they don't wear it, it's unprofessional, meaning that if a white person doesn't have to wear it, if it's not something that they have to wear, then it can be deemed as unprofessional. Period. Just like anything else that they do to us. Like, have we not been like heavily policed in school, even down to, you know, some schools talking about you can't wear braids and shit. Like, what the fuck do y'all want from us? My God. If they don't wear it, it's unprofessional. A bonnet is no different than any other head covering when you take the stigma off of it. Bonnets are sometimes the easiest thing for a black girl to do with her hair so she can cover it and get to class where she pays for an education. She said, I'm referring to adults. We're talking about college students, so I don't know why you would be framing this conversation like you're talking about an adult, but this is what I be talking about, where people can't actually argue with my actual statement. Whatever I've said, they can't actually argue with that, and so they try to find a way to act as if we're having a different conversation. I'm referring to adults. Girl, what the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about college. But the adults need to teach their kids to come proper to school also. No white person has put it in my head to think this way. You think that white people have not put it in your head to think that way, but you don't seem to understand that you were taught that from somebody and they learned that from somebody. And right around the time after Reconstruction, right, and also during integration, actually during segregation as well. Black people having to get jobs meant having to conform and look as close to white as possible. The only reason why you're relaxing your hair right now is because black women needed to be able to look closer to white women when they tried to go and get a job, which is why we even do the things we do now. It may not have the same meaning now, but it absolutely started off that way. So for you to say the way you think has nothing to do with white people is just really ignorant and ridiculous, okay? Like, you don't live in a vacuum. You don't live outside of white supremacy, bitch. Girl, that remind me of when your girl had to tell her that ugly blue cerulean sweater you wearing. You think you just picked that up out of a bin and you don't even know that some people in a room with me decided that was the ugly blue sweater we should give to your poor ass demographic of people to wear. And you think it's just some stuff, having no idea that somewhere at some time a group of people decided that that's what your ass was gonna wear, and that's what you wore. She said, no white person has put it in my mind to think this way. Laugh emoji. I like your content, but are you good? Because apparently what I said means I'm not good. So now we're questioning my sanity because I made my argument about something that you responded to. Bonnets is really meant for sleepwear, so it's not comparable in my opinion. College age people are still teens, so I'm not sure why you would be discussing adults. A white person tells you something I said a white person doesn't have to directly tell you something in order for you to adopt prejudices. They are passed down. Historically, black people have constantly been policed in order to conform to what our white society finds acceptable. This is not a new concept. I am not sure why this is so explosive to you, but thanks for watching. We'll just have to disagree on this. And you will still be wrong. You can disagree and you will still be wrong. Like, you would still be wrong. And one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of y'all don't understand that the shit is respectability politics is because you have not had to actually be around white people like that. If you've been around white people, you will realize that the standards black people hold themselves to, white people don't hold themselves to a fraction of it. A fucking fraction. You think white people give a fuck about professionalism? The white boys I worked with, they said whatever the fuck they wanted to do and say, and nobody ever really called them out about unprofessionalism until a bitch said me too. So it's very odd to me for black people to fight so hard for their own like subjugation, their own dehumanization. Because what y'all don't want to admit about this whole bonnet conversation is that you're equating wearing a bonnet to being lazy. That's what they're saying. When some people actually say the quiet part out loud, the quiet part is if you don't get up and do your hair in order to be acceptable in front of all of these people, then you're lazy. As if a young black girl in college could ever really be that lazy. If she going to class and she going to class in order to be bothered about a fucking bonnet. And y'all don't even realize you're putting all of this extra stress and all of this, like it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. And I also feel like you're not even thinking about the fact that everybody else doesn't have the same type of hair that we have. So they may not have to go through the same things in order for this to become acceptable, because it would have to be acceptable for white people in order for y'all to feel like it was professional. And that's just what it is. White people would have to start wearing bonnets largely in order for, again, let me say again, because at one point white people did wear bonnets, and when I posted pictures of different forms of bonnets that white people have worn, and the word decorum or professionalism has never been fucking mentioned around how they look, Then all of a sudden y'all won't act like, yeah, I mean, but it's tacky. That's not the fucking point. Something can be tacky, it can be ugly, whatever. And that doesn't mean that we should be banning it to the point that we're reprimanding students about doing something that just makes it easier for them to go to fucking class. People saying shit like they've become too casual. You mean in a world in a world that make, girl, in this world, y'all really that word? And then, they're wearing, you should see what they're wearing to job interviews. Cause that's the issues that the black community is having right now. What they wear to job interviews. Man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Bedtime hair aesthetic in public isn't new. There's photos of white women with their hair in curlers out grocery shopping in the 50s and 60s. Bondy is everywhere against us, even in the islands. They have banned locks in the schools. Well, what the fuck is a bitch supposed to do with their hair? That is... I hate it. I hate it. Yes, I would, because combing your hair daily is classy. Demure. Oh, yes, you would what? Yes, you would what? Yes, they are. A whole somersault over a trampoline. Bondy, your hair is cute. Thank you. Ridiculous. They want us to be a mess in front of them. Moving the goalposts. Remember when Monique was shaming black folks for buying this? And listen, I agreed with her. That's why I said I've been chewing this around for a minute. And one of the main points that makes me feel like this is some racism shit that I've just, because I also adopt an aesthetic of being classy. That's how I was raised. It may not come off that way, but bitch, please. I'm New Orleans classy for sure. Okay? In real life, I don't bother nobody, and I don't want nobody bothering me. I go on about my way. Okay? I do my thing. All right? I always smell good, bitch, for the most part. And I always look good. It's hot out here. Don't judge us. We doing the best we can with what we got. And we got a lot of titties and a lot of ass and a lot of humidity, bitch. It's 107 degrees outside. Okay, but my Medicube deodorant is working. Yes. And now I've started powdering like an old person. I'm black and they're too much. My mama taught us not to wear outside. And see, that's the thing. That's the thing. And y'all act like that doesn't come from what your moms and grandmothers were taught, which had a lot to do with racism. It had a lot to do with how they were respected, because they were always looking for a reason to disrespect a black person. So you got to be perfect in every aspect. College is not the place for that. College is not the place to be requiring that level of perfection from children. And I'm calling them children because when I remember being in college, bruh, you're a kid. You're still a kid. 18, 19, 20, 21. You are still a fucking kid. And now you done left your people house and you out here on your own. And that was another thing for me. Being away from my mom made it harder for me to take care of my hair. I didn't even really know what the fuck to do with my hair. And it used to be fucked up. I didn't wear bonnets because bonnets weren't really a thing back then. Not the way they are now. When I was in college in 2007, 8, 9, yeah, it wasn't really a thing like that. People wore bonnets, but it wasn't like that. Like you wrapped your hair. Like you wrap your hair. You wore headscarves. We wore do-rags. Back in the day when your hair was straight, you wrap your hair, you put a do-rag on, or you wrap it in a scarf. People was doing stuff like that. They're having feelings over facts conversations. It for real. Because a lot of it is, oh, I feel this way. Well, you can feel however you want to feel. That's not the same thing as reprimanding children that are trying to, get through college over something. You can feel like, oh, I wouldn't wear that. That's cool, bitch. That don't mean we should be banning it. Your feelings should not equal banning shit. That's crazy. We can be more creative than bonnets and do-rags. But we also should not have to be. We should not have to be. Why do we have to do all of this? And that's the point. Y'all don't realize how you want the black girls to figure out ways to do all of this extra shit to make other people comfortable with what they're choosing to cover their heads with. And you don't realize that is white supremacy. A bonnet has, You this upset? You have dreads. That's your choice. I have locks. And yes, white supremacy and the oppression of black people and making black children's and black girls' lives harder for no reason other than your fucking feelings. Yes, it absolutely pisses me the fuck off, girl. Racism and internalized racism is at the top of the list of things that work on my nerves. Yes, having conversations with black people that are perpetuating bullshit. Meanwhile, they've never been in some of these spaces, but they running their fucking mouth about the shit. It's not odd to see a nigga walking down, campus in a do-rag, in a sweatshirt, and a book bag, and some sweatpants. This is not odd. White people wear PJs to school and have bed hair, but it's cricket. So yes, y'all doing this because of what they think of us. Some of y'all are missing a point in the comments. Child, and I love when y'all get in here try. Oh, you're really upset, bitch. You think I give a fuck about you trying to police my emotions? I don't give a fuck about that. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. And what is it? And what does that being my choice have to do with anything? What does that have to do with what we talking about? This has nothing to do with my hair. This has nothing to do with my hair. I'm not even in fucking college, and I didn't wear bonnets outside, and I still don't. I wear different types of things on my head, but I don't like the policing at all. I don't like the policing at all. You know why? Because people are always policing black people's hair. From putting laws to make that made us cover our hair, right? When in slavery they made laws, I forget what it's called, the laws that they put in place specifically out here in Louisiana, that black women had to cover their hair. So first they cut all our hair off. Then they covered our hair. After they covered our hair, then we had to relax our hair so that our hair would be more presentable for everybody. And now that the girls have figured out a way to get the hair presentable, but they got to wear bonnets sometimes to protect the style or just because it's easier for them. And now we're policing that too. Y'all are exhausting. It's exhausting. I asked the difference between a fucking bonnet and a turban, and I haven't heard an answer yet. It's the same shit, but you've placed lazy black people stigma onto the bonnet. As if it's any different than any other head covering that somebody will put on their head. It should not be a rule in a fucking college course unless it's like specialized situations, which that happens in all schools. In all schools, there's usually a time where they're like, okay, we need y'all to put on y'all best dress because y'all are going to have to dress like this when it's time to do this. Most college campuses are very casual. Black people are the only ones that are constantly being policed for what they deem as casual. I had a job recruiter tell me I should wear a wig to cover up my locks for an interview I had coming up. I told her, another black woman, if I have to do that, I don't want the job. Tignon laws, thank you. Tignon laws and the Crown Act is what was put in place in order to keep them from discriminating against black girls in school, because it don't matter what we do with our hair, braids, locks, tying it up, y'all gonna have a problem if we're not laying it down so it looks like white people's hair, which is not healthy for our hair. Then when the young girls wear wigs and weaves, y'all tell them they too grown and they fast and shit. Fuck y'all. They don't have an argument, so they choose to say to you that they feel will make you upset. And it's so stupid. Someone else wearing a bonnet outside doesn't mean that you have to. It doesn't make it right to policing someone else, okay? They aren't hurting anyone by wearing a bonnet. Tignon laws, thank you. We have the Crown Act for a reason. No, I agree with you, Bondy. I should have specified that people wearing a bonnet should be an acceptable choice. Yes, maybe they're just disturbed that we stay cute. It's sleepwear. It's actually not sleepwear. It's a head covering. It is a head covering. It is not sleepwear. And why do you not have the same attitude with do-rags? And why is this shit so fucking funny to you? Why is policing black people's bodies funny for you? That's odd. Y'all are odd black people. Y'all are very, very odd. College kids wear PJs to class regularly. No matter how the rules shift, we stay cute. Rage baiting the blacks. They know how to keep y'all arguing. No, babe. This is something that they're doing at Tuskegee. This is not just an online like argument and rage baiting. This is a conversation because this was something that they just did at Tuskegee. And my problem comes in because I feel like there are so many other things that require more policing, like the safety of the kids. And y'all are worrying about aesthetic choices that don't even fucking matter. And the argument is that, oh, well, if they're wearing a bonnet at class, then they're going to be wearing a bonnet on the job, which is fucking stupid. That's why do I want to work for a company that doesn't accept my hair? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yes, like white boys don't wear basketball shorts to everything, even formal stuff. Police that. I'm white, and I say y'all should do whatever to protect your hair whenever. When I see a girl with a bonnet on, I know she's just protecting her hair for later that night or in general. And protective hairstyles is a problem. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a big deal. Thank you. Just like women back in the day wore their curlers outside. Right. And my mama and them, was the ones that you don't let no man see you with no curlers in your hair. And that's supposed to make you a better version of a woman because your shit always together. Man, yeah, I don't when I was younger that made sense. Now that I'm a grown adult woman, I feel like get the fuck out of my face with that. I'll look how I want to look when I want to look that way. And if you can't love me with fucking rollers in my head, nigga, then you don't deserve this cootie cat. Okay? There was a white woman in whose husband slept with a mixed race black woman. When asked why, he said, I didn't know she was black. All I saw was that she was beautiful. A teacher asked me why I wore a turban in my online class. I told her a valid reason. They always wanted a reason why. They asked me the same question, why I am wearing a cover on my head. I was joking about the sleepwear chill. I agree with you. Okay, well, you can't just be saying shit in these comments, girl. Y'all know I can't. Y'all, you do see that there are people in here literally arguing with me. Like, put like connotation for sarcasm, bitch. I don't know that you being sarcastic. Now y'all gonna get mad at me like people not in here talking to me like I'm stupid. Time chat is unprofessional. Goodbye. Make it make sense. What's time chat? I agree, Bondy. Demanding professional level perfection of broke college kids when they will most likely never work in their chosen field when they graduate and be hitched to soul crushing debt is cruel. Like the fuck? Right before their largest freshman class comes to campus. It's dumb. It's a case of mind your business instead of what is on their head. Worrying about bonnets, but housing students is unacceptable and unsafe housing. Okay, whatever. Exactly, because a lot of them old places, they don't never redo them damn domes. You be staying in the same fucking domes your grandmama stayed in. And that's not a good thing. I'm Gen X, baby. We wore plastic bags to moisturize our jerry curls. It still makes sense. What do PhD graduates wear when their regalia? Doctoral tam is a bonnet by another name. I was trying to find a picture of that shit. Thank you for that. I literally was trying to Google headwear that was worn in academia because I'm like, they wear these large, like open kind of caps on their head that are not that different from bonnets. But it's like if it has a certain connotation, then it's something different. And I just feel like, no. Stop being racist, black people. Stop being prejudiced. Wearing a bonnet in school where I am paying to be does not equate to wearing a bonnet at work. I keep saying that. Like, bitch, I'm going in debt to go to this motherfucker and you about to harass me over what I got on my head? Yeah, I know that's the original story of the Tignon laws. Always come from being jealous of a bitch. Same dorms from the 80s with all that asbestos poison. Worry about bonnets when going by some of these comments. They should have been more focused on raising people's literacy levels. No, for real, because the girl that was talking to me, I'm like, baby, you barely speaking correct English to me and you worrying about a bonnet? I agree, Bondy. And the thing most are missing is the fact that they are taking away the option to wear what we black people want. Exactly. I work on a college campus, and the only thing that worries me for these kids is what their reading level is, and can they do calculus. That's what I'm talking about. Like I'm worrying about the fact that they know how to read words, but they don't know how to understand concepts. They don't understand sarcasm when it's actually said. Out loud. They don't understand nuance. Like, it's a lot of shit that they really don't be picking up, and so they start arguing with you about things that they just merely don't understand. Your perspective is very small. That's why you don't understand. But instead of being curious, you respond with disrespect and then get shocked when somebody curses you the fuck out. It's wild. It's wild. And they packed those dorms like sardines. They'll have 10 of them kids in a room. Oh wow. Graduate school debt, let's not. It's serious. 10 years though. Have you heard the concept of hair being antennas? If so, is this an attempt to control the connection black people have with the earth or universe? I don't think so. I know my daughter stayed in the same dorm as her aunt. She has been graduated 50 years. Damn. Calm down. Don't let them take you off your square. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Ain't nobody taking me off my square. What do y'all be talking about? Why is it when people are emotional in any respect, y'all always have to say something that's meant to make them change how they're emoting? If I want to be up here aggravated and upset about something, I can be, because I'm a human being. Stop trying to police how I emote. HBCU was worrying about the wrong thing. Howard turning away accepted freshmen. I saw that shit and I really don't understand what's going on. Like, if they offering to pay, what is the problem? I almost feel like they can't really like cover all of them students. Like, they can't really like have all of them students. Maybe they shouldn't accepted all of them, but it's giving y'all are trying to cover something else up. I'm just learning that a lot of young people have no idea how to write in cursive. Oh yeah. They stopped teaching them stuff because stupid people decided that kids didn't need to learn how to do certain things. And so then they stopped learning how to do them. And then eventually we find that no, like, there was actual like thought put into how we were teaching because it taught different things. The cursive taught, it helped with other things as well. Because I feel like cursive is something that, like, it's affected a lot of the way, I don't know why. It's just the way you write. But also, I feel like I heard somebody say that they don't even teach how to learn the words in the same way. Like, they think you just gonna figure out the word. They don't do phonics in the same way, like breaking the word apart so that you could understand the sounds. They don't do that anymore. They just think that you'll be able to pick up context clues from listening to adults talk around you. But that's another thing I feel like a lot of people don't be doing. You don't really like teach kids. You might talk around them or talk at them, but you don't actually like teach them. A coworker said, "Oh, thank you for the super chat, Moni." A coworker says Carmelo Anthony should have worn his locks during trial. He might have won. I said, as if there wasn't black men hanging from trees in three-piece suits. Stop with the respectability politics. That would definitely not have helped. Like, because you see the way people are talking about locks, like, like it's unkept and all of that shit. Because black people's hair needs to be slicked and controlled and flattened and all of that weird shit. Okay. My client I'm doing on Friday is her 3rd year. I'm going to ask her, is there a real issue? I'll get back with you. Okay. Word. The literacy crisis, the safety crisis, health crisis. But wait, bonnets. That's the priority? Okay. Yes. Kids can't critically think, but we stuck on some motherfucking bonnets. What is really happening? Racism. That's what's happening. No, for real. Sorry, she goes to Tuskegee. I figured it out. See, a bitch understand context clues, right? And she isn't upset at all. She's just passionate about what she talks about. It's going to be beautiful. Oh, thank you. Let's see. It moved. Wait a minute. Let me go back down. I missed something. Okay. You always emotional. We know you care. We understand you're passionate. But damn what? Like, I'm so confused about what you're bothered by. Like, what the fuck is... And what do you mean you always emotional? You're not always around me. You're not always around me. You don't always watch every single video I make. You don't know me like that. What do you mean? You're always emotional. The fuck is you talking about? You don't know me. They can't read the cursive either. I write in cursive, and the kid said it looked like it was from Lord of the Rings. I saw a video about Howard, and it mentioned that they likely over enrolled and needed to de-enroll 300 plus students. That was where the rule. That's what I figured. They can't cover all those kiddos. They have a tier group, and they over admitted, but it happens at all schools. Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah, they make you memorize the word rather than sound it out. So and that's another way of not teaching you how to figure out the word. You're not going to know every word. That's why knowing how to sound words out helps you figure out every word. Well, English language words. I was just telling my mom about how my teacher used to use music to teach us metaphors and similes and all that. That was one of my best teachers I'll never forget. I wish they bring back 21st century skills, critical thinking, and home economics. No phonics, just memorizing. That's so stupid. They don't teach them phonics, and because of that, these kids are not learning by more mature concepts. Hey, my theory is that style teaching cursive so they wouldn't be able to read the Constitution. You know that all of this is to dumb them down, and it's working. Cause look how these people are. Look how these people are. The to me, and that's why. Okay, so I said I wanted to go back to college so that I would, stop talking to stupid people all the time, or just so I could be around smart people. This is not shade. Of course, there are brilliant people that follow me. I talk to a lot of brilliant people all the time. But when I say that, I mean it would take me out of the social media space a little bit, and I could be around people that are a little bit more, in tune with things and know what's going on. Because online, you are arguing with people that you would have never had conversations with. You are arguing with people that don't understand very clear forms of racism. Like they have not learned these things. Blame George Bush. But they don't understand certain things. And so the conversations end up being so hostile and volatile, right? Because they're mentioning everything but what we're actually talking about. It's exhausting. Calligraphy is non-existent. They drop things from curriculum expecting for parents to pick up the slack at home. And that's not happening. You could barely get these motherfuckers to feed these kids. They need to bring back cooked on phonics. Howard is making room for the poor whites that didn't have the grades to get into other schools. There are far less black students at HBCUs than people think. My God. They don't teach phonics anymore. That's crazy. Relax us so cute. Thank you. Can you talk about Dr. Bryant? Girl, what am I supposed to say about that crazy ass bitch? To me, that aligns with this. Because the only reason why a person like her is even able to flourish is because y'all don't need people that actually have degrees no more. As long as they talk like they got some fucking sense, as long as they monotone and unemotional, but have a tone like they know what they talking about and they pretty enough, y'all gonna believe whatever they say. Not y'all, but y'all. Policing violence and black hair is actually correlated to black individuals being connected to earth and spirit facts, especially when it comes to black women. Mm. Hey, Bondy, are you coming to us with... No, I'm not coming to y'all with Real Housewives of Atlanta today. I watched it, but I didn't make any notes. The episode was kind of boring to me. I could tell y'all my first thoughts. My first thoughts are Angela is full of shit. K. Michelle is doing that weird intentional flip-floppy thing that she likes to do. I don't like that everybody's acting like what Shamia did was so crazy, as if it was not a build-up of her being accused of doing everything but being a child of God. And I still can't get somebody to tell me why. I really do feel like this all might be like a lot of envy going on when it comes to Shamia, because I still don't understand a lot of y'all's issue. And then when I ask what the problem is, like what did she do specifically in order for Angela to be upset, ain't nobody gave me a reason yet. They was being greedy and no, they didn't have enough highs, and you always emotional, baby. Why are you here? Like, get off the damn live. Tone police looking ass. Yikes. What's wrong with getting yourself ready for class? That's not an issue worth fighting about. It is an issue worth fighting about. It is, and it's not about getting yourself ready for class. I don't know why y'all are like dumbing it down to that, as if you don't understand what it takes sometimes for black girls to do their hair. I really don't understand why this is so, like, this is a concept that's just so heavy to understand, that like a bonnet makes it easier for you to get up in the morning, brush your teeth, wash your face, put on some fucking sweats, and go to class. You don't have to worry about doing your hair. You don't have to worry about taking it out of whatever, thing you've put it in. You don't have to worry about it being out. It's just tucked away in a bonnet. You don't have to worry about the hair shedding all over the place. Like when I would have hairstyles that had a lot of like loose weave in it and the hair was shed, I would put a bonnet on just so I can stop the hair from falling all over the place all the time. Like, this is really ridiculous. This is really ridiculous. Like, it is a head covering. It is just something to put your hair in. This should not be that serious. It is not pajamas, bitch. It's not pajamas. It's not pajamas. And another thing is, so what if somebody, because when we start talking about pajamas, that's another thing that's kind of fucking, come on, bro. So if I slept in basketball shorts and a t-shirt, I could get up and go to class in basketball shorts and a t-shirt. What are you talking about? You sleep in it. Get the fuck out of my face with this. I used to be an academic advisor. The goal is to admit as many freshmen as they can, but if that financial aid is not clear by like third week of classes by itself, those kids are legit dry. I had to get a cursive app for my daughter in third grade. She's so quick to fight. There we go. Let's, go fix that problem. It's crazy how she's exposing the brainwashing and propaganda, and you are more mad than the system. They want to implement respectability on your own platform. White people by nature are bland and subdued. We were never meant to fit into their idea of respectability, especially since they generally lacked actual respect for anyone outside of themselves. Child, come on. You know what I'm saying? Um, what about Dr. Bryant? What about her? Her and other people. She not the only one that all you gotta do is talk and say shit a certain way and people believe that it's the truth or it's right. Yeah, no conflict and no context clues. Mind you have your own belief system and moral compass. For people who don't, it can be difficult for them to grasp. So then you're considered emotional. And I recognize that. It's always somebody grasping to understand something, but I don't understand why they have to disrespect me because they don't understand something. And then get upset when I go off on their fucking ass. Like, stop expecting for people to ignore your disrespect just because you don't understand something. No, I'm going to come right back at you on however I feel. You're not going to police my emotions. No. Yes, my flabbers were casted by these kids. The demolition of federal aid is going to mean a lot of kids will not have money for school if you can't self-pay. I remember my hold on, wait, dang, I'm so late. Okay, I remember my English textbooks in elementary used to have multiple sections in each lesson that was specifically for making us think critically and respond. I seen your threads post and liked it, but I was not gonna say anything because you were on the ass already about going back to college. Child, yeah, you seen the way they was coming at me about that. Like, you know, this is the thing. Y'all, I am not in any way, shape, or form an elitist person. But the stupidity is below that. The stupid, what I feel like is like a general comment that's not common no more. The common sense that I feel like motherfuckers should be able to have is not common anymore. It's really not. Cause you can't even see when people are playing in your face. And so that's another reason why I'm like, just stop talking to me, bruh. Like, they're not only dumbing down the next generation, they're focused on making women populated fields as non-professionals so they can't get student aid to study a subject like nursing. Girl, I know. And I tell you, that pissed me the fuck off. Just reignite my want to get the fuck out this country, bro. Like Jesus Christ. Uh, the classism and privilege has been on display for real. I'm disappointed with so many people. Shake my black children can't catch a damn break. And thank you for saying that, because that's how you know this is not about, when I say I'm tired of being around dumb people, this is not about me being elitist, because that's not what it's about. It's about the fact that I think people are really like gravely misunderstanding things, and because they don't understand them, instead of being curious, they get angry and disrespectful. Why do they want to dumb people down? Because it's easier to control stupid people. That's how y'all got your. That's how we got that stupid ass president. Because everybody is stupid. And a part of this, the ignorance and the stupidity is not recognizing that when people are messed up to a certain extent, nobody's gonna get anything out of that. Nobody. Nobody. The people that know that were probably blackmailed and are also evil themselves. So here we are. Here we are in a world that is burning around us. Everything is going to the shitter. And y'all want to police black college students' hair choices. Because that's what's important right now. Girl, some of the most ignorant people I've met have degrees. I think believing in yourself and having a million audacity will get you far. Oh, yes. No, please don't get me wrong. And this is what I feel like when I said that I was kind of joking, right? I'm kind of joking, but I'm also not really joking, because I feel like you can't call me a bitch in a college course when we're going back and forth about something because you don't agree with me. You can't try to make something personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, on the way things happen online is not the way things are going to happen in a college space, because you will get kicked out of a class for certain shit. And that's really what I was thinking about when I said it, because some of these things, I feel like anybody that has really read any books about some of this shit, they would understand it. But I also understand that people override facts with their feelings. If they feel strong enough about it, they'll override the facts of the situation. The homophobia is one of those things. Like, if you've done any like real college, sociology classes, any classes on race, gender studies, anything like that, you understand like the intersectionality of all of these things, right? And how it's all like white supremacy or patriarchy or just trying to control and oppress people in all of these little various ways. Controlling people's hair, self-expression, the colors that they wear, all of that shit is meant to dull people all the way down so that they can conform, so that you can be a slave, so that you can work for the rich people all of the days of your life, and never really break out of said system. It is how you stay compliant in the system, is to conform. All of these little things are ways to force people to conform. And the way you force people to conform is you add virtue to it. Make them feel like it, make them better than somebody. And they gonna roll with it. I fear uneducated people. Then they will have the nerve to argue you down about anything. Seriously. My child does well because we went to a teaching preschool. Oh, wow. Round of applause. I'm training myself to stop trying to reason with unreasonable people. I argued with a black Trump supporter a month ago, and I it's fuck flabbergasted. He was flabbergasted as fuck. Like his own base aren't even rocking with him. I'm an educator and I do teach phonics. Good. Thank God. Sick of Angela. But let your employer say one word about your hair, no matter the state, and you will be on TikTok begging for support. I'm also sick of Drew, but I want her on the show still. Yeah, Drew. The only thing I remember about Drew is that Drew had that man bring a horse to Shamia's party. Can somebody explain to me why Gerald interrupted Shamia's thing so that Drew can go outside and get a horse? Am I the only one that felt like, Gerald, why did you do that? I guess. My coworker also told me they stopped teaching children how to read analog clocks. She had her son when she was done. Yeah, I learned at home. That's when I learned to be impatient with myself. Some folks are just rolling out of bed and going to class. I don't think it's a deep act of resistance. Strike me as lazy, in my opinion. I don't know what you mean. Doesn't strike you as a deep act of resistance. Strikes you as like the fact that you think it's lazy to roll out of bed and go to class. That's what the white kids do. The white kids don't have to spend 10, 15 minutes in the mirror slicking their fucking edges. That's what equity is about. Equity is, we know white kids don't have to do certain things, but black kids do. So let's allow for the black kids to wear their bonnets and the things that they need to protect their hair, because they don't have to deal with because white kids don't have to deal with the same type of issues with their hair. So they have no need to wear those types of things. Black kids do. So let's not stigmatize it. Like, what the fuck is, then that's what I said. Didn't I just tell y'all that they're equating this to being lazy? And anytime you're accusing black people of being lazy, it's racism. And I don't mean on an individual level. I mean as a group of people. You're accusing teenagers in college of being lazy because they don't want to have to fuck with their hair in the morning. Because I can't be on a full course load and doing all of this work and what? Well, hold on. How am I saying it? I can't be doing all of this stuff and not be lazy. I'm trying to say it a certain way, but I'm fucking it up. But what I mean to say, it's ridiculous for you to say that I'm doing all of this work and you're calling me lazy because I have a bonnet on my head. I'm in college. I'm going to college courses. I'm doing college coursework, and I'm lazy because I put a bonnet on my hair. People think Dr. Bryant is intelligent for the same reason they think being sapiosexual is a thing. She says things they agree with. Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense. You gonna save this? Yeah, this is YouTube. These lives are always saved. I wish people who don't ever, well, they supposed to be. I wish people who don't ever step foot in school talking about what we don't do. I recently had to take a course that focused solely phonics. I wish people who don't ever step foot in a school talking about what we don't do. I recently had to. So you're upset because I said that I heard that they don't teach phonics in the same way? And then there were a bunch of people that said that they don't. And then some people said that they did and they're learning it. And you're upset that we're saying that it's not happening, because it seems like in some places it's not happening. And in some places it is. And since they just kind of gutted the education system, that means each state, each district is probably doing something different. Why are you upset about that? Nobody's talking about you personally. I really want to create a culturally affirming holistic educational program for our K through 12 students. I don't know how many people would sign up for it because of grifters like Dr. Umar. Yeah. But I mean, if you got your accreditations and all of that type of shit and you work with children, and you create a school, I feel like more people will probably be open to it than you would expect, especially if you started off by talking to the parents and making sure you have it succinct what you're going to be teaching their children and what type of environment they're going to be in and why that's beneficial to them in opposition to traditional types of education. I also think it's rude to walk up to people and tell them they shouldn't have a bonnet on. It's tacky. Like, get smacked. Little bitch. Folks don't like kids for real. No empathy or sympathy for children. That's what this feels like. This feels like y'all don't have any sympathy for kids and whatever they're going through. So your response is to be just very, no, I don't care. You need to be more presentable. You need to be respectable. No, I don't care. No, I don't care. That's the vibe with a lot of people right now. I feel like even that bisexual conversation on TikTok, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like, I mean, I didn't even realize this topic was gonna go on for this long. I'm not talking about it no more. Like on TikTok, I haven't made any more posts about it because I said what the fuck I said. I also don't give a fuck about who y'all fuck. Y'all always like to make it about that. You never want to attack the actual argument because you know what it is. And then, then we're turning it into this whole, oh, no means no thing, which I think is so fucking sick. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I think it's very sick to act as if people are trying to violate you by simply asking you to stop being homophobic. It's especially because a lot of this, at least from my standpoint, wasn't about being with bisexual men. It's about the way y'all handle people, the way y'all act in disgust of people, the way you feel like they're dirty now. Like, feeling like other people are dirty for a reason other than them being physically dirty, or like a sexual creep, making you feel uncomfortable. I feel like it's always based in some type of like weird phobic thing. Folks don't. Yeah, I read that one. My coworker is in early education. They are putting hand washing in the curriculum, among other things that you think a child would learn at home before going to kindergarten. Kids don't learn to write in cursive, but are supposed to be able to sign documents with a signature when they become adults. Yeah, that don't make sense. We worried about the wrong itch. How is a bonnet really disturbing or distracting anyone? Worry about the lesson, not my fashion choices. That's how I feel. The issue of bonnets really does go back to the constitutional issue of allowing people to exist as they wish. Yep, I had to teach my daughter how to tell time and her multiplication. Got them Farrakamos. But that's the point. It's up to these young adults to figure out their routines to get where they need to and show up for how they want. So it's their choice. Damn, it moved. It moved, y'all. My bad. Okay, I disagree. College is supposed to prepare you for the workforce. You can't wear vibrants, bonnets, and do-rags. I couldn't wear them when I was in school. Just because you couldn't wear them at your school doesn't mean that it's not allowed at other schools. And college can both prepare you for school and not police what's on your head when you come to college. It's been done in previous years. So it's so sad how intolerant people have become about one another. Yes, it's very sad. Taco, are you really concerned with what other people wear on their head? Who decided that a hat was an accessory and a bonnet is only for bed? If white people wore bonnets, the perception would be different. And you know it. That's why I'm like, at this point, we can't even have this conversation because you really can't argue with my point about this. Like, you really can't argue with my point. And anybody that's arguing with my point, you're just talking about your feelings. You're just talking about your feelings. You're not talking about any real life results of this really being a problem. Like, bonnets are not the fucking issue. If y'all want to talk about things, kids not caring, do you know why they don't care? Because what's the reason to care? What's the reason to care, y'all? Why should they care? Do you know what's going on around us? We were still in an illusion. Us millennials, we were still very much in an illusion when we were in college. We really thought we was going to be able to do better with our lives simply because we went to college, not realizing what the debt was going to do. The stock market crash of '08, the Trump era and all of this shit. And now we're adults with houses trying to figure out how to fuck the run to another country. What do y'all want them to be professional about? If they want the job enough, they gonna do what they gotta do to get the job. That is not even a fucking issue. That's not even an issue. Now, if you want to talk about the lack of critical thinking skills, the all of that shit, like, yes, that also has to do with how you teach kids, what you teach them. And everybody don't need to have a baby just because y'all don't want to have abortions, and y'all have decided because some stupid ass evangelical white people told y'all that abortions are killing kids. Now y'all want to make people that should not have children have children. And then wonder how all these adults that are showing up don't know how to do shit because their mammies and their pappies didn't want them. And y'all made them have them because if not, everybody's going to hell. We having all types of, sinful sex and shit, but I can't be getting rid of a baby. If you don't pull that cotton swab out your coochie and go on about your fucking life and stop letting these people guilt you into having children that you don't really want and you can't take care of. But men don't sleep with all women without a condom isn't nasty. People homophobia doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't, and they know that. And I even understand the feeling, y'all. Like, I understand the feeling of it. That's why I can identify it. That's why I don't know why they be like arguing. Just accept that you really are like kind of just grossed out about what you feel like is a man being in a feminine position, and that's because femininity in men is a turn off to you because the patriarchy wants you to be attracted to hyper masculine men so that you'll think your own abuse is okay. That's really what it boils down to, bitch. And you don't have to feel that But you need to understand that it would help you. It would help our entire society. But hey, if you don't give a fuck about that, that's fine. But it's weird for women to complain about how misogyny harms them. And then when they perpetuate it in a harmful way towards other people, tell them, oh my God, you're forcing me. Okay, girl. Many of us went to college without bonnets, have a high regard for black youth, expect more rather than less. What is your point? I don't understand your point. So because other people went to college without bonnets, we should ban it and then make it harder for children to go to class without having to worry about their hair. I don't feel like y'all are actually considering how this is taking a load off of their back when it comes to getting up in the morning and getting to class, which is already a hard thing. I don't think y'all are actually being practical. Y'all are in this like weird space where y'all think a certain level of decorum is protecting you from something, but the higher you get, the more depraved the people are. So I'm not sure exactly what higher regard a child isn't in simply for wearing a bonnet outside. You're adding a stigmatism to it that doesn't really exist outside of your mind. I expect more from black people. I expect more from HBCUs to understand that this is a transitional time in young black adults' lives and they don't need to be policed in places that are supposed to be accepting of their differences, like having to wear do-rags and bonnets to cover up their hair because it's different than white people's hair that just lies flat and doesn't do anything. Y'all always trying to act like, you know, you're sitting on some high ground that's just really fucking stupid when you break it all the way down. Because as soon as you get into the rooms with the white people y'all trying to impress, everything turns depraved. I don't think men wearing hats should be worn in classes either. Why? Why? What difference does it make? While I don't agree with wearing bonnets and pajamas to class, I don't see what the hell they need to dress up for. Like they go into an interview, they better throw a head wrap on and call it a day. And I feel like there's no difference between a head wrap and a bonnet. I can agree that you don't need to wear pajamas. I can agree with that. And even that, I feel like, fucking cares? Like, did they pass the class? Especially if their pajamas don't have them, like, you know, exposed in any way. Like, sweats is sweats, y'all. That's all we wore in college was sweats. You was trying to wear the most comfortable thing you could wear because you were fucking tired going from class to class to class to class, doing this, doing that. You wore what was most comfortable. It like, this is really wild that y'all are trying to make it seem as if wearing a bonnet in a college class means you're not going to be an adult that knows not to wear it on a fucking job. Oh damn, that heifer don't even have a master's. I literally never want to hear her name again. I'd rather become besties with Stacey Dash than listen to C. Bryant again. Yeah, no, she's a weirdo. When we first found out that she didn't really have a doctorate degree that she could show us, I read something from somebody that said they was one of her clients, and basically whatever her harmful rhetoric is, and she's very misogynistic in the things that she says, she makes the person feel worse. She makes them feel bad because it's like you're not performing well enough to get what you want. And so you need to stop whatever it is that you know, your emotions, cut that shit out, and you need to just do what you need to do to get the man, whatever the fuck it is. But to me, it leans to you feeling like you're better than women and actually doing therapy with these women so that you can make them feel like you're better than them. That's what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant really, I feel like, is doing therapy for. It gives her an opportunity to feel like she's better than every person that she's sitting in front of. She's delusional. And actually, I feel like it's extremely dangerous for somebody to be given the type of what is it, y'all? The type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Shit, I hate when I be spacing on the words, but y'all know, like, resume, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, she don't have it. She don't have that. But people automatically seem as if they believe what she has to say or they trust what she has to say. Like, you shouldn't be trusting what somebody has to say that will lie to you about all of those things. Lying to you about degrees, lying to you about having stores, lying to you about being a fucking lawyer. Just lying, lying, lying. You should not go to therapy with people that lie like that. You in somebody's head. You need to be trustworthy, bitch. I'm from the deep south too, and now live in NYC. My education in Mississippi was better than several of the people I've met here. Let folks wear the bonnets in peace. If folks can walk around with greasy hair, then let me wear my bonnet. I don't care what you do. I just don't want. I just won't do it. And that's all. And that's it. And that's all. It shouldn't be a rule. It shouldn't be a ban. HBCUs definitely have a stricter dress code. They wear whatever they want at PWIs. And you know what? Exactly that, because black people always want to police other black people. Oh, you better act right so the good white folk don't think you ain't nothing. You don't want the white folk to think you're nothing. You want the white folk to think kindly of you. You better make sure that you comb your hair and you brush your hair and you slick your edges and make sure that everything is pressed and perfect and clean, because you don't want those dirty ass greasy head white people to think badly of you. Bonnets outside the house are ghetto. You're prejudiced. You're prejudiced. You're stigmatizing other black people. Congratulations. Your oppressor is very proud of you. Right? Everything about the American dream is a nightmare. Because, baby, the girls be looking so beautiful with the head wraps, with the bun in the back and the edges out. School is stressful enough. Who the fuck cares if you come to class in a bonnet? The bonnet epidemic has gotten out of control. I'm seeing too many bonnets in banks, restaurants, airports. It's sad. It's not bad to want more for our people. I'm going to have to disagree with y'all. What about a head covering is more or less? Do you feel the same way when you see Muslim people wear burqas, like that you want them to have more for themselves than to be covering their heads everywhere they go? Because I feel that way about that, but that's more so because I feel like they're hiding their hair for, purity standards. And I don't like purity standards because they're stupid. It sounds like you really upset about the bonnets. I think y'all need to unwrap y'all mind from that and realize how, like, white, you know, it's kind of, girl, it's kind of internalized racism. It is. It's internalized racism. I know you don't want to believe that it is, but it's a head covering. It's a head covering, toots. That's all it is. It's something that I'm gonna put my hair in. It should not be that big of a fucking deal, especially when y'all don't put this stigma on anything that any other race of people puts on their hair. I can't think of anything that y'all would ban from campus that would be the equivalent. I can't think of anything that has been banned that anybody can wear on their hair except for black people, except for black women, specifically black girls. My sister just sent my nephew to be interviewed for a school, and they got mad at him because he got tired of them asking him to do the same thing in different ways, and he gave them attitude. He's 3. Oh, that's the crux of what's going over people's heads. Just as you can set a standard for yourself, like not wearing a bonnet, someone else should be allowed to set their own standard for themselves. Yes, girl, they played us millennials bad. Bonnets isn't the problem. People's underlying anti-blackness is the real issue. There's no argument against your points. I know. I know. But you see they in here arguing with me anywhere. Oh my god, I disagree. We should want better, right? And better means being policed. Better means having to look the way other people want us to look. That's better, right? Better is being presentable for white people. That's what we want. We want better for our kids, and better means complying with how white people have set professionalism standards for you guys. Okay. I hope Tuskegee takes your advice, but I doubt it. Child, they probably won't even hear me. Again, I rely on myself because community society of the world has failed or succeeded depending on perspective. Those kids don't even know if they're even going to have a job when they graduate. That's another thing. Like, y'all act like the way they put us on the hamster wheel. I think a lot of the kids don't care. There's like this lethargicness, and I kind of get it. I get why you would be lethargic. We don't even know if tomorrow gonna be here. We don't even know if an economy gonna be here. Y'all want them to be stressing themselves out about being professional, and the job market is ridiculous right now. I just kind of feel like us fitting into their system is not the conversation anymore. It's them changing their system to fit us. That's what the conversation needs to be. We're not going to progress if y'all are going to keep grabbing for the mindsets of the black people that were trying to fit inside of masters' boxes so that we can, so that we could rise above. We did that. That did not work. Now we need to go back to the drawing board and think again. And a part of that is realizing that all of the ways in which we try to conform to make ourselves more digestible for white people is internalized racism, and you need to stop doing that shit. It's no different than moving out of the way on the sidewalk when them niggas walk past you or be walking towards you like they not gonna move. It's no different. Also, these kids had to navigate school during COVID virtually. Their attitude is different. Bonnets, dreads, braids, afro, our hair isn't gonna prevent us from excelling. Like, Taco, let me hold your hand when I say this. You are trying to make a personal preference a standard for other people. If you think a hat or bonnet is inappropriate, don't wear one. But don't police mine. I feel like this is just simple. People forget these kids who are not wanted to turn into adults. Is Taco white or something? What's going on? What's going on? What's the rule? What's going on? It's the rule. It's the goal now. Let me fast forward, y'all. It's a lose-lose. The bonnet will cause stares from certain black people, and if the hair ain't done, the black people are still gonna roast you. They would say locks are unprofessional. Like, get the fuck out of here. Braids, locks, child, afros, everything is unprofessional because it's on you, and you black, and that means you. And just inherently, you inherently as a black person is unprofessional, it's unrefined, and lacking in decorum. So you need to be doing shit to yourself. You need to be stretching yourself and doing whatever the white people are doing so that you could fit into that binary for everybody. That's what it is. Mind you, a baseball cap is for baseball players and typically used for shade. By their logic, non-baseball players should not wear them, especially in the winter when there is no need to shade from the sun. Or when you inside and there ain't no goddamn sun. It's a light. They're for bed. Girl, what are you talking about? People wear bonnets all the time. It's just a way to protect their hair. It doesn't matter. We are professional. The goalpost is always moving. Right. Black folks have a right to be lazy after everything this motherfucking country has put us through. Right. I was at work like, what am I fucking doing? We have kids in class, but still finding a way to tell them they don't belong. I'm very much like, what's the fucking point? I'm 23. Like, and the point is to make sure you straight. And that's really it. That's the point. They, the white folks can be lazy with their little messy buns and people let them live. Don't they? Don't they? The white kids don't have to do shit. The white kids could be lazy. They could be dirty. Their ponytails could be loose and all over the place. All they got on is a sweatpant, a sweatshirt, some pajama pants, and slippers, and ain't nobody got a fucking problem with it. Little black kids wear they do-rags, sweatshirts, sweatpants, tennis shoes to class. Now all of a sudden it's a distraction. Stop this shit. You hoes look lazy. I know y'all in a college course right now and you passing tests and all of this and doing your coursework, but you look lazy with a bonnet on your head. Shut the fuck up. Prefer freedom of expression, not control atmospheres. It feels like modern day slavery. Can we take this argument to the Supreme Court? Listen, we need to. I know, I saw the white girl starting to wear bonnets. A big t-shirt and shorts is their favorite thing. I already knew. Right, they don't even bathe. But a bonnet is the issue. And I'm somebody, I don't wear bonnets outside. I have the same, respectability politics, barometer for myself. Like, I hold myself to a certain measurement, but that's me. I hold myself to that measurement. That doesn't mean that everybody needs to hold themselves to that measurement. Younger women don't feel the same way about bonnets, but that's because it really was not a thing when I was growing up like that. It was not. But we did go around with our hair wrapped up. We did. There were times when you didn't want your hair out. The fuck is going on? Last statement. People are commenting saying they feel the same about hats while ignoring the fact that hats are not being demonized. Realize that, then ask yourself why. Right. Nobody's saying you lazy because you got a hat on. Back when I was in college, my professors were more concerned with us being in class. One of the number one dermatologists on YouTube is a white woman, and she wears a bonnet to bed and recommends all people sleep in a bonnet. Literally, other races are wearing bonnet, but you know why they don't? Because they're they're lazy. That's usually why. White people be wearing beanies in 100-degree weather, like like please. They wear gothic clothing too. They are no different. The white folks at my school will wear booty shorts and Uggs in the middle of the winter. Yes, bonnets on, locks on, colored hair is always the issue. Like, back the fuck up. Hair scarves back in the day, I definitely had my hair wrapped up, especially if it's raining and I couldn't locate an umbrella. I wear a hair scarf to work. I love a good hair scarf, girl. But that's another thing that they would act like something wrong with that. And you realize that they always doing something to make us move, right? First, when we came here in slavery, oh yeah, we don't want y'all to be seen as women. So, because a part of a woman's beauty is her hair. So they cut all our hair off. Then our hair start growing back during slavery. They create the Tignon laws, right? So then we have to cover our hair, and our hair has to be covered so we're not seen as attractive. That shit becomes attractive. And then, oh, we need y'all to relax y'all's hair so that y'all hair is more pliable and it looks more like white women's hair. So we do that, we make that a style. Then y'all start saying, oh, the braids, the hard hairstyle, the cut, like, girl, whatever. It's just always moving. Now y'all mad about bonnets. It's always moving the goalpost. But the firm thing that stays true is police how black women are showing up in any space and make them feel like they're presenting themselves in a less than a less than suitable manner. That way we can treat them badly, right? You lazy. How the fuck the people that work the hardest lazy just because they got a head covering on? How are you adding lack of self-worth to a person wearing a bonnet? How do I like myself or care about myself or respect myself less because I just want my hair to be up off of my neck and not in a ponytail because it's too tight? Knocked out here. College does not prepare you for work. I am not at work sitting in a room with 30 of my peers all day, nor do I have homework. You are not interfacing with the public in college. That's another thing that's true. They just want a reason to talk down. It's exhausting. People hate to see anyone going against the grain. We've been taught certain things were right or wrong that's realistically don't amount to a hill of beans. How dare you do anything I wouldn't do? Dead ass. A peer of mine got into an argument with a professor in class one day for wearing pajamas in class. Homegirl had 2 jobs to pay for school and a kid at home. She was doing the best she could to show up. Like, you don't know me or my work ethic or my fucking life. Right, I just heard that. Oh, little bit. The nerve to call somebody lazy when you don't know shit I've worked on. The fuck? I think they see a bonnet as dangerous, like a hoodie being synonymous with black men, which doesn't make any fucking sense because you have never seen a woman out shooting and killing somebody in a fucking bonnet. No, y'all, the people talking about, they just don't like that they see them. We don't like that y'all look relaxed and like y'all just got out of bed. We don't like that shit. You need to look like you going somewhere. For fucking what? Bonnet and a floppy hat on, my family's phone. During antebellum days, white women copied our bonnet wearing styles, but we can't embrace our own creations nowadays. My 5-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter have locks. I was raised to allow your kids to be free, choose their comfort level. Right. My mom was in her 20s and the 90s living in West Bank, going to a community college, and she wore wraps and scarves. I wear hair nets to work. Who gonna check me? Long nets too. They don't want you comfortable, basically. That's what it feels like. Don't be comfortable. Always be at attention. And why do I have to be at attention in a college course? Why? Why do I have to do that? Not the bonnet killer. Listen. Because what are we talking about? Anyway, what else? Ooh. Ooh, y'all. Did y'all see what they said about because I'm tired of talking about Diane, not Diane, Goo Goo Gaga crazy ass Cheyenne Bryant, girl. That lady is crazy. I don't know why people are still fooling with her, patronizing her, talking to her. That man coming online talking about I liked her, so I'm gonna gift her a doctorate. That's not how any of this works. That is not how any of this works. You can't gift a bitch a doctorate. I don't know what's wrong with you, nigga. You need to get your life together. You need to find somebody else to play with. But you sound stupid. Um, and her sending a cease and desist to Jamal Bryant, girl, go to hell. In the words of indescribable, girl, go to hell. Okay. Um, what I wanted to talk to y'all about, y'all saw they said that Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory unfollowed each other on social media. Y'all saw that? Girl, girl. We told y'all them people was gonna break up. We told y'all that that wasn't gonna make it last forever. That wasn't, no. We told y'all that that wasn't gonna happen because that little munchkin ass man is mean. And I think he is psychologically, verbally, and sometimes physically abusive. And I think that when men are like that, there's no amount of fawning that is going to make them be a better person. They are who they are, and what you need to do is accept it and get your fucking life together. But you trying to have a baby for a man that will play on your top the way Dr. Gregory was playing on Sweet Tea Top? I ain't got time for it. No, it's more like how dare you think you can be out here however you want when I had to change. I had to conform. I couldn't be myself or have space to figure it out. So now you have to change too. Yes. That's exactly what it's a whole bunch of bitch ass hater ass shit. That's what I see that as. You a small individual when you want people to suffer just cuz you suffered. Like, get a grip. Go for uncomfortability, be submissive for their control, so insecure at. Yeah. Talking about is recognized by God. He told you that, sir? Aha! I be comfortable at work. It's physical labor at work. Yeah, girl, yes. What? Not surprised. White people news. That lady who was killed for making that Netflix TikTok. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not surprised. Do you think they're getting a divorce? I hope they're getting a divorce. He's a little demon. I rarely revel in people misery, but I say with this, because you know what? I think the relationship is actually the misery. Like, I'm gonna just be real. People think that it's misery when you want people to break up, but sometimes relationships are misery, and you want people to break up so that they can be free, but they don't know no better. Then, y'all, can we have a conversation? Okay. So if you're not a deep thinker, this would probably be the time to exit the live. It's okay. I'm just chilling. I'm just talking. I'm just running it. It's just a few of us in here, okay? It's not a formal live, but I appreciate the fact that y'all show up for my formal lives in great numbers the way y'all do. Thank you very much, okay? So y'all, I watched 72 Hours the other day, right? I don't want to watch Kevin Hart movies. Please be clear, okay? But Kevin Hart is one of those people that I have to slowly but surely dislike because I really liked him at one point. I really liked Kevin at one point. House Husbands of Hollywood, like they're, Kevin doing nice shit for people, Kevin taking care of his ex-wife the way he did. There were things that I really liked about Kevin. What happens in Hollywood, I think, though, is when people have certain aspirations, you have to give up certain parts of yourself for those aspirations. And back in the day, we couldn't really see it, but now we can see it, right? When I watched the movie, y'all, it was because I saw it. I like that the little Latin dude from SNL. I like him. He funny as fuck to me. He one of my favorite people on SNL. I like SNL. So the SNL kids is the reason why I watched the movie, because I like the SNL kids. Also, I ain't never told nobody I was boycotting Kevin Hart movies or anything like that. I never said that. I actually get up here and critique people, but I'm still gonna do whatever the fuck I wanna do. I didn't say I was gonna do anything other than what the fuck I wanna do. And I have Netflix. So if I'm in here drinking with my old man playing The Sims and we looking for something to watch and I say let's just see what it is, then that's what the fuck it is. I don't know why everybody gotta keep asking, you watched that? You watched that? Yeah, bitch. I was bored. It was Saturday. I was drunk. What's your problem? Anyway, also, I watch shit sometimes just so I can come to y'all and talk about it. I don't always watch shit merely for my own enjoyment, but I'm also somebody that when I do watch things, I can take the ride with you. I'm not always thinking deeper into things on purpose, but because of the way my mind works, bitch, if I think deeper, then that's because I have new information. The fuck you want me to do? So, when I say I have new information, what I mean? So I found out recently about the aristocrats. I've talked to y'all about that. You can actually find that documentary on YouTube. The Aristocrats is a documentary about comedians telling this joke, right? And the joke is supposed to be a way for them to express their creativity by trying to figure out how to tell this joke. And a lot of the times when they do the joke, they're doing it so that they can get a job, right? They're doing it so that they can get a agent or something like that. I heard about it on TikTok, so I started, watching content about it. And basically, what they do is it's the same story every time, and then they add all of this middle stuff that's actually kind of fucking weird, right? So the aristocrat joke is a family walks into a talent agency and they're like, "We want to show you our bit." And so they start to do the bit. The bit will be some of the most deplorable, nasty, fucked up shit that you could think of. It's basically like smut, right? And I don't know why that's supposed to be funny, but this is what the comedians are being tasked with doing. And a lot of them have done this, the aristocrat joke. At the end of it, they'll just say, we're the aristocrats, the family. We're the aristocrats, okay? So once I found out about the aristocrats thing, it had me thinking about, oh, okay, so this is how you test people to be able to tell how depraved they are, right? And when I say how depraved they are, I mean, if you can laugh at incest and sodomy and pedophilic jokes, like if you could laugh at things that are really not funny and really are terrible things, if you could laugh at those things, that means that you have the type of temperament that Hollywood wants. Hollywood wants a temperament that can be in a room where people are doing the most fucked up things possible and you say nothing about it and you actually either enjoy it or find it funny. That is the point of the aristocrat joke at this point, to me, to test the comedians to see how depraved they are. If they are really depraved, then we can get them to do anything. We can get them to do anything. They're safe to be around for us because we're depraved, right? So that's how I think about it now. So when I watched 72 Hours, they had moments that were gross for no reason and moments that didn't really make sense. And I was made aware of this because I saw another content creator talk about Death Proof. Death Proof is one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. In Death Proof, the women in Death Proof do things that don't really make sense if they were actually a woman, right? In real life, a woman would have more fear for her safety. In real life, a woman would not leave her friend alone with a weird ass man to possibly be assaulted so we can ride around in a car. Movies don't happen in a vacuum. A person creates the movie. A person writes the script based on their own thought process and what they think the person would be thinking about. Okay? So when Quentin Tarantino crafts a movie with women that are kick-ass and are not going to allow a man to just abuse them and get away with it, why the fuck would they leave their one friend alone with this creepy-ass man? And it just goes to show that these men are predatory. And the reason why I say it goes to show that they're predatory is because if a person actually is not a predator, they understand what it's like to feel fear. So they would not put a character in a situation that they wouldn't actually be in if they understood how the character would actually feel. And if you're an actual woman that's not a predator, you would not do certain things. But because a man like Quentin Tarantino is a weirdo ass predator type nigga, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't recognize that he's writing something that just showcases that he feels safe in a way that the woman character he's writing would not. Okay? So that was the point I was making when it came to that. When you look at 72 hours, that was the same thing with he gets accidentally put into the group chat. It's weird, but then he sends them some money. Then he offers to upgrade the bachelor party. Men that I know, 20 something year old black men, or even, you know what I'm saying, I don't know about white men, but the men, the 20 something year old men, when we were growing up, they knew that older men take advantage of young men too. They know that. So if they don't know the nigga, if they don't know somebody that know the nigga, they're not inviting a strange man that sent them money over the internet on any personal trip with them, because we don't know you. You a creepy old man. You could drug us. You could do anything to us. And that is because the executives and the people that make the movies or greenlight the movies are the creepy old men. So they don't understand that if you're the person on the other side of that, that's not something you would actually do in that situation. People are getting caught up on, oh, it's just a movie, it's just a comedy, it's not supposed to make sense. No, sweetheart, that's not the point. The point is, stories don't happen in a vacuum. A person has to think about the story, they have to write the story, and then Hollywood gets involved. So where we're producing and we're adding elements. More information. More information is the Nickelodeon documentary, understanding what slime actually was about. Walking around making kids eat pickles and shit. All of this stuff that was meant to gross us out. Just like I mentioned on Instagram, finding out that the creator of Ren and Stimpy was a pedophile. That makes sense now, because when I remember watching Ren and Stimpy, I used to be so grossed out, and I didn't like, what the fuck is this? And it's because it's an adult person that's a predator creating content from inside their warped, fucked up predatory mind. So they don't understand that this is fucking weird to give to children, because they're a predator trying to groom and take advantage of the children. You see what I'm saying? So once you understand that all of this is comedy, let's add on to that romantic comedies and what we understand now about romantic comedies. Think about how romantic comedies have conditioned women to be in relationships with fat, ugly, slob, stupid ass men for the sake of a end of the movie happy fairy tale type of situation. Think about how often in romantic comedies, I just finished watching what I feel like is like one of the quintessential grooming romantic comedies, weirdo romantic comedies. There's something about Mary. Why are they always trying to gross us out? There's so many things that they do to gross us out that are supposed to be framed as comedy, and I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. It's not funny. Why is this funny to anybody? Because they're a fucking creep and they're a weirdo. That's why. Why would you ever have a moment where y'all show us Ben Stiller's dick caught in a zipper? Why would you ever show anybody that? And it's because it's supposed to desensitize you. Not us, the girls and the women. That shit don't really work on us, because we become like the prey for that type of shit. So that don't really work on us in the same way. We watching that shit with our boy cousins and shit and our brothers and all of that because we want to get, be around them and get along with them, but not because we're actually enjoying it the way they are. It's actually meant, I think, to desensitize and make young men more depraved, and also to groom them with the rape culture. A lot of the romantic comedies of the 90s and the early 2000s are promoting rape culture. It's always taking consent away from a woman. Always taking consent away from a woman. And then at the end of the movie, wanting us, trying to make us, the people watching the movie, want for a woman to be with a man that did something against her consent. Think about what's that movie with the boy with where your girl get pregnant? What's the one with the girl, she get pregnant on the first date? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I didn't watch Sausage Party because I felt like that was weird. But whatever that movie was with my boy Seth Rogen and old girl that's a bitch that everybody don't like, but that was my girl back in the day. She got pregnant on the first date or whatever. He took the condom off on her. That was stealthing. That was rape. They put that in a romantic comedy and acted like it was nothing, and they acted like he was just confused. He wasn't confused, but the way they frame very serious world issues as if it's not what you think it is, y'all. I know you may not want to sit with the fact that they're trying to convince you that this is the possibility, but that's what's going to happen. A woman is going to have sex with a man in real life. He'll have seen that stupid fucking movie, and if he gives her something or gets her pregnant, he'll be able to act like, oh, I was drunk. I was drunk. I thought you said it was okay for me to take it off. I thought you said that, because men are always trying to play on your intelligence to get over on you. Movies offer men the opportunity to do shit that they may not have thought of on their own if they weren't around these creepy ass dudes that make these movies. But to me, romantic comedies absolutely groomed women to be with subpar fucked up ass men and accept their fucked upness as long as you can have companionship and love, while simultaneously knocked up, thank you, while simultaneously making men think that their deplorable fucked up predatory behavior is okay because we're laughing. Juno was also fucked up. Knocked Up is the movie. Hear Me Out, Deliver Us from Eva. Absolutely. Why would you want to be with a man that not only could be paid to date a woman, but then would lie to you, take money to date you like a fucking prostitute, then lying and well, he didn't lie and tell everybody he was dead, but they lied. The men lied and told everybody that this dude was dead. They was willing to pretend like this dude was dead to get rid of these women's sister. And at the end of the movie, they all getting back with him like it's all cool. When why the fuck would you stay with men that would go through those lengths to lie? And also, why would you want to stay with a man that would want to hurt your sister like that? But it's grooming you to see men do fucked up things and then kind of, oh, it's fine because happily ever after. And people act like that's not what's happening, but that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening, bitch. Just because you can't think about the way you think like I can doesn't mean that I'm wrong. We need to go back to exiling people. We just allow anything as a society. People's standards, boundaries, and morals are more flexible than Simone Biles. A thin line between love and hate. Yeah, that's crazy, Bondy. You really could make bread as a therapist. Show CB how it's done. Listen, I'm gonna do something to show that bitch how it's done because I'm somebody that'll just go to school before I sit up there and lie about being a doctor. You just a weird hoe. But you know what? If I was actually being like empathetic and being real with myself and not just being like, bitch, you weird. When you have a drug addict for a mom and a dad that was in jail and sold drugs, I think a part of trying to feel loved is realizing that you have to be able to manipulate people in order to feel loved. You're not getting your needs met. How do you get your needs met? Once the daddy gets out of jail, now I have to fawn and pretend to be perfect. People that have fucked up home lives get used to lying about who they are because who they actually are, they hate. And I think that in real life, Cheyenne Bryant, whoever she was when she was younger, that person, she hates that person. And she's trying to erase that person. And that's why she's lying. That's why she's lying. I've already done lives talking about Nolan Wells. More than 2, at least. But I appreciate y'all. I really do. Jawbreaker. I know you're talking about movies, but if we're going to talk about a toxic song, BBD, When Will I See You Smile Again? He literally says he's broken every single promise over and over again. You're right. I had a fucked up childhood and it took a lot of therapy for me to get better. Child, all of us. Cheyenne had low self-esteem early. Yep, delusions of grandeur. It's sad. I don't even think she knows she has such an ego. I think she knows, but I think it's hard to reconcile with it. That's another thing people need to understand. You could have like understanding of something mentally, but it doesn't mean you could change how you feel about it. It's the same thing as knowing that somebody is not good for you, but still feeling the need to be around them, giving them the opportunity to make you feel bad again. Child, we know that school ain't real. You can't just give out no motherfucking doctorate to nobody with no transcripts. You don't need a transcript. Just give me that pussy. Give me that pussy. Give me that pussy. They're probably asking you about Nolan Wells today because that black woman released that audio where they are in the background implicating themselves. What audio? I saw something, but they were saying, I think Dwight posted, but I didn't watch the video because I didn't see it posted nowhere else, and they were saying it was all fucked up. So I was like, well, I mean, if I can't hear what's going on. Mm. Shout out to you doing your, L says it's for law, right? Shout out to you. Do your thing. I'll be here. I don't know. I don't feel like Cheyenne Bryant is being ridiculed that terribly. I feel like at the end of the day, we might be like, bitch, you is not a doctor. Stop talking to us about this. And honestly, like a lot of the shit she says is problematic and you putting people in harm's way. So you not really being dragged like that. To me, an example of somebody being dragged that don't deserve it as a black woman is like Megan Thee Stallion and shit. Give a fuck about us holding you accountable for being a scammer. I hated American Beauty and what it symbolized, and my family just glossed over it. No, you absolutely right. That fucking freak ass Kevin Spacey movie. Once again, once again, relationships between teenagers or very young adults and older people, and how the older people are taking advantage. That's another thing. In 72 hours, y'all, let's go back to that for a second. First of all, why did we need the whale sperm and the whale penis? Because y'all have to gross us out. The aristocrats, right? You're weirdos. Another thing. He didn't have to lie to them. The story could have been, saw the kids online, or maybe we should try to offer to pay for the bachelor party in exchange for them, like, letting us go along and kind of get some zhuzh from them. You know what I'm saying? You could have found content creators that would have went along with that, and then you could have created the same storyline that you had once y'all go on the trip. But the fact that they didn't know what was going on is what makes the consent thing a problem. Always going against consent in these movies. Every comedy, it almost seemed like y'all always fucking over somebody's consent. Okay? Because they could have got, you know how many kids would have been, I mean, I'm not saying kids, but that's because they're like young. They're in their 20s. You in your 20s, you getting married. Somebody, alcohol company is like, hey, we're offering to pay for a bachelor trip if somebody, if the people will allow us to go along and film for a campaign. Do you know how many people would have signed up for that? And then they would have had all of the shit that went down. The issues still could have happened. The only thing that would have been different is you would have had to find another reason for the main character to be upset at Kevin Hart on the back end. Which at the end of the day, you had drug dealers chasing them fucking people. There were a whole bunch of other reasons that somebody could have been mad at Kevin Hart's character at the end of the movie. That way we had to make up and get past it. But it's always the making it okay and forgiving people that ignore your consent. Overall theme. They fuck over you, ignore consent in a situation, lie to you about something in order to get you to do something, right? Coerce you into something by lying. You have to forgive it by the time we get to the end of the movie. In any of these situations. Okay, I thought I was tripping. I live in Indiana too. And was like, what school is that? Child, they said that shit just started in May. It's been all over the media. Well, girl, I went bowling with my husband today. I was trying to be outside of the media. The only thing I really saw was what we were talking about at the beginning of this, which was the whole situation at Tuskegee. If she would have just came out and said that she did not get her PhD because of the closure of the school, she would have had more sympathy. Just being transparent, because that happens all the time. They were saying, oh my God, he's dead. Get the fuck up, Nolan. Oh, one thing I had to reconcile within myself in my effort to grow was my eagerness to see the good, your eagerness to see the good in everyone. Yeah, no, I don't have that. I used to give grace from a place of thinking people were ignorant, but people know what they, yeah, no. And don't you always have something happen in your life where you have to come to terms with the fact that they know what they're doing? And the judge Ashley's office number is the tip line number. I know you fucking lying. The school literally just opened this month and he's lying. Nolan was clearly killed. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we know that. And we know that they did something. And I'm glad they got some type of evidence that is, you know, showcasing that y'all know what happened to him. But we know y'all know what happened to him because we already know that y'all lied about him being on the island. He did not die on that island because he went back with y'all and was at a pool party at somebody's house. To me, it seems like y'all brought his body back to that island so that it could seem like he died on the island. The white kids called for help because the boat was sinking, and on that call you can hear them all in the background fussing over Nolan being dead. So Nolan was already dead. Plus, I just got sent the Umar Scam Johnson school finally done. The fact that she is trying to convince us otherwise is crazy. Cheyenne really disappointed me. I wasn't expecting much because when she was talking about high value and all of that, I automatically hear the slave owner talk in that. I'm also very well aware of, and I told y'all that when we first started talking about her, I said there's no way that she's actually read any college level. There's no way, like the way Cheyenne talks about women and men and relationships, and she talks about family dynamics. I'm like, yeah, you haven't read any books that actually will tell you about the history of, you know, people and families and all of that. Because if you actually knew that shit, you would not be talking like this. I said that when we first started talking about her, because not only did I go to college, but I read books that people are reading in, like, you know, graduate level women's studies and gender studies classes. I read these books for fucking fun. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way you could have took any class in, you know, psychology about gender studies or women's studies or anything like that, which these are classes that you would have to take in order to finish out you know, a psychology doctorate, masters, anything. You would have to take classes that would have you basically inspecting the history of people and family dynamics and all of those things so that you can have a firm understanding of what the fuck you're talking about before you start putting guilt on people about what they're not doing as if it's not a systematic issue. And that's what I'm talking about. That's how I knew that she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about, because when you have a certain level of pick-meism about yourself, I just know you either ignored the information or you don't really know it. Exactly. Meg ain't did nothing but hold a violent man accountable. I apologize. Are we talking about the Wells case? I'm hearing the cleared up audio now. That's why I'm in and out the live. We weren't talking about that, but child, they not gonna let me not. I can leave space for our trauma causing us to jump to conclusions on an actual accident because it happened all too often. But the one thing they can't make sense is him staying without his phone. And why are you covering it up? That's another thing. If it's an accident, say it's a fucking accident. Y'all are white. Y'all obviously have the community that y'all are in, you know what I'm saying, under lock, right? Judges, people that's already gonna say that there's no foul play without any real investigation, because all of this investigation that's happening after the fact letting us know that y'all didn't do what the fuck y'all was supposed to do when this shit first happened. It was obvious y'all was trying to cover some shit up. Did you hear about the stepmother that's a judge used her personal phone number for the tip line? Yeah, somebody just said that. Cheyenne has, I mean, this was obvious. That's why I don't like small towns, because small towns are able to cover up what they do because everybody knows each other, everybody's friends. There's no checks and balances. I don't care what nobody talking about. That is one thing I do not like, is that small communities often allow for people to get away with murder depending on who they're friends with and who they're connected to. And I don't think you should be able to do that, bitch. I'm sorry. Cheyenne has a gaming mindset, not an evolved one. That tracks, because they always wanting to make us feel small and submit to them. High value. When folks stop using that for people, we will all be better off. And that's one of the main reasons. I'm like, so you mean to tell me, with all of this understanding of history, the way women have been sold into marriages, the way black people have been sold into slavery and indentured servitude and all of this shit, and you still want to talk about each other as it pertains to romantic relationships like we are, commodities to be bought and sold on the black market? That's crazy. You can't really care about the health and the heart of any type of family if you are talking about people in that manner. Autopsy, the first one was weird, and white people are leaving bad reviews for Nolan's mom's medical practice. It's scary because we always have inconsistencies, yet they always get away with the accident or self deletion angle, and we all just collectively move on. I don't even think we move on as much as a lot of us are. We so used to this shit. We don't be moving on from it though. We don't really move on. We feel it. It's a universal consciousness that's added to every generation that comes after. They may not want to acknowledge it. They may not necessarily understand it, but they feel it in their body. They feel it. Just like every time we go through this, we go through the same emotions collectively of being angry, sad, pissed off. Then they get away with it. We get angry, sad, pissed off, and then we feel like there's nothing we can really do about it, because if we were to do what we should be doing about it, then somebody got to go to jail, or then what the white people going to do in response. You know what I'm saying? And is it really worth all of that? Sometimes I feel like, eye for an eye, tooth for a fucking tooth. Because truth is, that's how people view relationships. And that's a problem. And you can't holistically talk about, relationships and family dynamics if you are talking about it like it, it's a not a human thing. Like it's just objects to be bought and sold. We move on. Even if we fight, the soul is carried through each generation, mad angry. Like, how are they angry when she's the one that lost her son? It's repeating. You know why? Because social media didn't let it die. That's the punishment for the police. Said ain't nothing happening. Y'all still investigating. Y'all not just taking it. That's that. No, I did not hear about Corey Ruiz unalived by police, but this is not a dumping ground for all of white people's atrocities to us today, y'all. We not trying to be mad like this. We was already mad about black people in the bonnets. Yeah, I saw that Nancy Grace was on the case. Y'all, we'll talk about it, we'll talk about it specifically tomorrow. I'll try to see if I can do 2 for 1s tomorrow. Do Real Housewives and do a BondyBlue show. We'll see. I had to tune out from this case for sanity's sake. I was struggling mentally, and one day Bondy said we weren't meant to take on everything. I have to disconnect from time to time. We're not. We're not. We're not meant to take on everything. And then people try to make you feel guilty when you are trying to draw attention to the thing you're drawing attention to, because you don't have the energy to take on every fucking fight. Shut the fuck up. I tuned out from the case as well, but okay, TikTok is all over. It's all over. Okay, TikTok is all over. Child, I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow, y'all, when I can actually go sit down and listen to all of that. I wasn't in the mood for that. Uh and I still, y'all, I'm sorry. I know we don't like Shamia, but it's giving envy. It's giving envy. It's giving envy. Y'all could not like Shamika, but this is too much. Trap more Raw's coverage on the David. Maybe. I watched a few people about the David thing. This one white guy. And then Kadisha, who I really like. And then there's another lady I was watching on TikTok. Child, that shit crazy. That shit crazy. Very R. Kelly like. These are from Hey Harper. My hair stuck on it. See what I'm saying? That's why people be wanting to put their weave in a bonnet, bitch. See, my hair stuck on the earring. Is it off yet? Okay, I think it's off. Yeah, no, I love it because it reminds me of old school medallion jewelry, which I really like, right? Because this is old school New Orleans medallion, and it has like the same kind of like swirls and stuff in it. That's like what we used to wear a lot down here back in the day. My uncle made this. Uh, so yeah, I like my ring has it on there too. This ring has it on there. This one. Uh, yeah. Haven't been here in a while. Are you expecting? Am I expecting what? Am I expecting what? Right. So behind on Housewives, clock it, Bondy. I agree with you, Mama. Pretty info coming out. Yeah, yeah. Let's save all that for tomorrow. Uh, where are y'all watching the David trial? It's not. It's not anywhere you can watch, but people, certain content creators are allowed in the courtroom and they're reporting back. How did you realize Eric was the one? It was just a feeling. And honestly, I just always felt like what I was supposed to do in the moment, right? So like I felt like we were supposed to be together. We was together. Then it was like, okay, we've been together a minute. We should get married. So we got married, and we still together. And it was just a feeling that I had that he was important to me. But he's had to like prove that to me over these years that he the one. Just like I feel like I probably had to prove it to him. That's not a given. That's not a given. Every day, hey, we still here. We still here. We don't know what it's gonna be like, next year, tomorrow, and all of that. But that's my people. You over there knocked out. Shamia needs to leave the show. Portia is playing. I don't want Shamia to leave. I don't want Shamia to leave because that's what Portia want. Why would you ask me if I was expecting a baby? Why would you ask me that? Like, why out of all the questions, why would you ask me that? I like how you said that nigga never switched up on me. It's that simple sometimes. Like, seriously. No, Shamia should stay. With all that day preliminary information coming out, he better off pleading out. But I hope he gets the needle. He need to get something, bitch ass nigga. Shamia better not let them push her out. Nothing looks different about you. So I was confused too. Shamia better not feeling. Child, people really don't like me. So they come on lives and just say anything. Cause they just, they don't like me. I don't know why they watch me. Asking somebody if they're expecting when we are looking at them from shoulders up is crazy. Where is y'all couth? Y'all home training? Y'all attack? They don't have any. And if they do have it, they're not gonna reserve it for me. I think Shamia will become a fave again in a season, two tops. I agree. Random and rude as fuck. Cause if she wanted you to know, she would tell you. Maybe you got a glow, Bondy. People be so weird. Yeah, it's called skincare. We love you. I love you too. That is so weird. I guess because you have a glow. Yeah, it's skincare. It's skincare. I take care of my skin. That's rude. Even if someone is expecting, let them announce it on their own terms. Like, child, uh, you don't look like you're expecting. People are passive aggressive on a Monday. I know I don't look like I'm expecting. I look fucking good. Bitch, I went walking in the fucking heat in City Park yesterday. Okay, everything is firm. Okay, it's giving TNA. Okay, I got my good minimizer brown, bitch. I got a full pack. Ain't nothing about me that look pregnant. I'm fine, healthy, and thick as fuck. And I know it. So whatever the point was, bitch. Mm, mm. I don't want Shamia to leave. I want Shamia to stop people pleasing. I want her to stop doing that too. I know that, but I don't think people. I don't think that people didn't. What you mean? What I miss? I think she referring to your glowing skin, but stop being weird. Glow doesn't mean pregnant. That's something y'all made up to promote pregnancy. Even if body look different, that would be no one's business but her and lyrics. I don't know why people be coming at me like that. You look beautiful. People forget what a real woman looks like. They do. You should have like, meat on your bones and you should have blood in your face cuz like skin has blood behind it. You making me want to cut my micro locks into a shaggy bob. Listen, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it's growing really fast too. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Glowing skin doesn't mean pregnant. I just started following you. I really enjoy your content. Thank you. You look good. I saw it in person. Thank you. Exactly. Facts. Come on, 4 pack. I got a 2 pack and I'm damn proud. Right. I don't want Shamika to leave, but I do want her to get a better stylist. I know you have glowing skin because of skincare, but that person didn't know. But don't ask me that. That's weird. And you don't know what comes up for people when y'all ask them stuff like that. Because to me, anytime somebody asks me if I'm pregnant, I automatically feel like, are you calling me fat? That's what that automatically seems like to me. And I would like to know, in what fucking world does do you not know that a woman is gonna think you're basically insinuating that she's fat when you ask her if she's pregnant? I like being soft and squishy. Yes, soft and squishy. Don't ask women about their bodies. I thought we learned a long time ago not to ask women about their uterus. We don't know what people's bodies are able to do or what they wanted to do. For real. Damn, I just realized you cut your hair. Yeah, child, a minute ago. Even in real life, it's rude and weird. Honestly, I don't think that people accidentally, oh, that, nah. I think that people watch me, people know what's going on, and I think people like them try to attempt to make me feel bad. That's what I think. I think people are always attempting to make me feel bad because I say things that make them feel bad, but I don't fucking know them. And it's not personal. But I feel like that's usually why people are coming at me weird, or because they just lack any type of couth. And that's not about me. I mean, none of it is really about me. But I really do feel like a lot of times it'd be like just people having to like get off whatever their issue is with me because of something I've said that was, me hitting home for them, and I don't even know them. It was not personal. I love my locks. You actually inspired me to get them because I asked you your perspective and it was good. Okay. Oh no, I didn't talk about the Usher debacle. I didn't, but do y'all know that I'm kind of torn because I feel like, bitch, why would you go up there if you didn't want him to dance on you? But then also I feel like, nigga, ain't nobody gotta want you to be dancing on them. Yeah, she's expecting you to donate. Listen, thank you for that. I'm about to be using that. Expecting, she's expecting, look for the community to do right by the babies that are already here. Child, they want to see if they can dim your light. Child, you cannot. You can piss me off though, and that's a different light. But it's a light nonetheless. That's why I blocked somebody that was in here talking about, oh, you too emotional and all of this shit. You online, I can ask anything. I just like you gossiping. I used to watch you. Now I remember why I stopped. Let me block you so that I don't have to hear from you whenever you decide to come back. Can you imagine trying to act like, do you see how that be? You see how she waited until I said, I already know why you said some shit like that. Like, girl, the fuck? Y'all see what I be talking about? You can offend me because you don't have any couth. I can ask anything, and I can tell you that you a fucking weirdo and you don't have any couth or decorum. The fuck? Anyway, that is so weird. But when I tell you, niggas hate my ass, it's crazy. You would think I did something to somebody. Usher made Mario fall from pouring out that good liquor. Pissed me off. I ain't see that. I got micro lock because I always wanted them, but also to carry me through my grief journey. I needed some. Yeah, you need something. I understand that. Like, also because like it's something that you don't have to fuck with all the time, so you can go through your grief without being hyper focused about your hair. But then also it's something that is fun and new, so it can give you like a something to light you up a little excitement about just doing something new and different with your hair on a Monday, dog. Just a weird ass, right? Come up here and talk, ask me something that's really offensive. Everybody like, bitch, you weird. Well, I don't want to be here anymore. Well, bitch, you didn't have to ever be here. You weren't missed or anything. I be telling y'all, I got a video with my skincare routine. Look for it. Nah, I can't get the Whitney song. I get so emotional. I'm like, I get so emotional, baby. Listen, suck my dick. Hate watching people is crazy work. Full moon brings out the mentally unwell. Block them so they never have to worry about aimlessly wandering over here. Right, because why you make it sound like you just happenstance? Bitch, you clicked on me. Stop talking to me. And that's the first thing you say. Are you expecting, girl? Suck my dick. Anyway, that girl on stage, though, it was so contradictory. Talking about my mom was here. I didn't want to be. She full of shit. You wanted Chris. That's what it was. And all Bondy do is be honest. Like, you would think I fucked their old man or something like that. And I promise you I didn't. Child. That lady not worrying about me. I hate when people act like you gotta deal with BS just because you on the internet. If I don't have a fence around my yard, that don't mean you can come over here. Get the fuck off my Elon. That's hilarious. I'm sorry, baby. Nigga said Elon. That is hilarious. I feel like he calls girls on stage every night. So if she didn't want him, you say no thanks. Right. I love locks. It's so fun. I agree. Perfect example of how the community is not okay. Buy the merch, y'all. Yes, get my merch. Exactly. Hate watching people is a mental illness. You know what else is annoying? Like me watching content and then critiquing it and then people perceiving it as if I'm hate watching something. I don't hate watch anything. I watch shit so I can make an assessment of it and report it back because it's my job. But I don't hate watch anybody because that's fucking weird. Every time, even people I like, there are people that I like that have been having some of the most terrible, like honestly, like as a bisexual person, hurtful takes about that whole bisexual conversation because it's just straight up homophobia and then not giving a fuck. Like I've seen people that I really fuck with, and guess what? Every time I see a caption that have anything to do with it, I just slide right past. I'm not about to watch you say something that's about to hurt my feelings. I don't give a fuck. We don't agree, and that means I don't need to get my pressure up by watching you say something that's about to offend me. Like I don't hate watch people. I'll come back when you talking about something else that's not gonna piss me off. Y'all can do the same thing. It's cool. And everyone knows what a Chris and Usher concert about, and especially if you get called on stage, right? Now that I'm in grad school and know people are moving from a subconscious place, I don't. Wait, IDT. Most people know that. I don't think most people know what they're doing when it comes to how they treat others until you say something to them. Yeah, and then I think they do though. See, I think a lot of things are subconscious, but I think people do know what they're doing. I think you know you intend to throw a slug. I know you intend to throw, you know what I'm saying? I do think that people intend. Not all the time, and I do think some things are subconscious, but if I feel a way, I'm going to respond how I feel, and you're not going to make me feel like I'm wrong for responding to whatever you said or, you know, how you come at me. You know what I'm saying? But I do get you, you know, that it is subconscious. No, something need to happen to some whoever did something to that boy. I don't want to be on TV Usher. That's another thing. Why are y'all girl, I'm gonna leave y'all alone because y'all like abusers. Y'all know I don't like abusive men. And if I know you're an abusive man or you're a creep like Usher that defends abusive men, yeah, and I've never y'all can I never really liked Usher. Like I didn't like Usher in the 90s because he just came off like an asshole to me. Just never really liked the man. I'm sorry. Over time his music got me, but I've never liked him as a person. You know, based on his image and what I see, because I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying, you know, there's a difference between somebody's persona and the music that they make. I can like your music, do not like your persona. Don't do it. I just don't. So the fact that y'all even be going to them weird ass niggas concerts is just like, girl, I don't give a fuck about what you going through at them niggas concerts. My bestie used to tell me all the time, people are not you. She would say a lot of times people know what they're doing. I still struggle with it because some things are just so damn flagrant. No, they exactly, and sometimes they do it because they want to pull you out of character. Somebody asked on Threads, and then I'm about to get off of here, but somebody on Threads was like, I don't understand why people treat Like people like Shamia and Candy, they give other people so much grace, but if something happens with them, they're not given the same amount of grace. And I'm like, that's because people really will hate you for being a good person. People will hate you for, being kind. People will hate you for having your money right. People will hate whatever the good qualities that you may have. People will hate you for those good qualities. And what they will do is try to create scenarios where you act out of character so it can prove to themselves that you're not the person that they think you are. Because they probably think a lot of you, they think highly of you, and so antagonizing you or saying mean shit to you is supposed to get you to act outside of how you are showing up. And if you act outside of that, then that's gonna make them feel like how they feel. See, I knew that type of shit. That's what that's really about. I'm from the South, and the vibe is crazy for you. The stories I can tell. Let me clear. Some California women, really, people will try to belittle you. Yes, and I understand the only reason why people like to try to come and talk to me like I'm stupid and belittle me is because I'm so big. Because I'm so big and I'm so smart, you gotta try to knock me down the size. And guess what, bitch? Not gonna let you do it. Okay? Suck a dick. Anyway, I've been up here long enough. I'm gonna go. I'll see y'all tomorrow and we'll talk more formally about all the things. All right, y'all. Peace out.